You know, this is one of those things that you're like, do you really need to film it? And because it's almost a no-brainer. But I get a lot of guys who will email me that they've built this thing and how do they sand it? Well, you got to think about that. Here's two Morris chairs that I did. And if you look at these chairs, you've got all the slats in the sides in here. You've got the insides here. You've got the rails that come into the legs. You've got the corbel. You know, if you don't sand that leg and that corbel before you attach it, you know, trying to get in here, or here's the through tenon, if you haven't sanded around it and the sides of that tenon, it's just almost impossible. I mean, you know, you got to think about that. You know, up here on the tops of them where we've got the through tenons, if you don't sand everything around that, it's going to be very, very difficult to get into. It's pretty much a common sense thing, but you got to think, when you're building something, you have to stop and think, how am I going to access that? And guys get caught up, you know, they get caught up in the build and they're all into it and whatever. And, you know, it's kind of like painting yourself into a corner. You can do it very quickly. So you really need to stop and look at the piece you're doing and you think about how I'm going to get into that. The same with finishing. You know, you've got to pay attention to your access and how you're going to get into things. Pretty simple. Just don't forget to do it.